Hello, how are you? It's March, of course. According to the lunar calendar, it's supposed to be spring, but there are some cold days and warm days, back and forth, back and forth. Then before you know, you noticed the cherry blossoms started to bloom and stuff. Well, this year, of course, many people are trying to enjoy the cherry blossoms. But then Ishikawa Prefecture, there are so many people died of the earthquakes and the tsunami still in the sorrow, of course. And we have to think about them too. If you could help them, do it. Now, the first idiom for today is to keep one's head. That means to remain calm during some emergency. For example, all those astronauts who are traveling in space would have to keep their heads to navigate the rocket or space shuttle or the vehicle that they are riding in the space, because everything is new and you don't know what would happen next. But then if they are not calm, they would not be able to navigate their vehicle. Okay, here are some examples. For example, people who lost their head. I would say usually behave very strangely or rationally, of course. Do you remember what happened in the it was before the COVID-19 pandemic, so it has to be 2020 or 2019, but after that, of course, yes, many people lost their heads when the COVID-19 pandemic began in 2019, of course. You can tell that I'm from the last century. Okay, another example. The people who lost their heads marched into the White House in Washington, D.C. and started attacking others and made a great fuss, led by Donald John Trump, who lost the presidential election in 2021. And that incident happened January 6th in 1921. So the presidential election had to be year 2020. And Trump lost against Biden, but he didn't believe that. And the people who believed in Donald Trump really they lost their heads. Oh, that was scary. What a sight it was. That was rather confusing, orderless, chaos. It's just you couldn't believe it that could happen to the civilized country like United States of America. Okay, that's keep one's head. If they don't do that, they're kind of like they lost one's head. That means to become very excited or lose one's self-control. So, which is opposite to each other, lose one's head, keep one's head. Right. Well, keep one's head sounds like you hang on to your head. That means staying in the job, not getting sacked or fired. No, it means to stay calm. And lose one's head means get lose their control. For example, okay, I tried to keep my head while being under restriction along with all other passengers of the airplane that I took from, I would say, I think that was from Frankfurt to Cairo, Egypt. When we arrived, Cairo International Airport, that lasted for several hours. In a small one room, we were not allowed to get out of the room. Well, it turned out to be we arrived in Cairo only a half day after the former president Sadat of Egypt was killed or personated in, that must be 1980 or 81, I believe. 1981, I guess. And I was a little kid, a little boy, and I didn't know what was going on. But after we are released and we got onto the airplane, we had to leave Cairo as soon as possible. All the foreigners had to be evacuated from Egypt. So I had my vacation there, but then no, it's all canceled. And I had to go to, I think, Karachi, Pakistan, directly from Cairo, Egypt. Well, that was a terrible trip. Just before getting on the plane, there were international newspapers piled up next to the door into the plane, well, you would say hutch or something like that. And I picked up one of the English newspaper, International Tribune or something like that. And the first page, it said, President Sadat assassinated or killed. So that's what happened. My goodness, I witnessed one of those terrible incident of the history. I felt like it. And I was a very young boy then. My goodness. So I was just scared, but I was not sure what was going on. Assassination is something very serious, right? People who lost their mind would do such a thing. Or maybe people who kept their head can do it well. I don't know. That's controversial. Okay, today's words, or let's say first one is logical. That means reasonable or reasonably expected. For example, all the people of the nations have their right to hear the logical reasons and explanation or information from the government when there's an unclear, doubtful matter occurred, of course. But then, the governments, they never would do. They lie again upon the lies. Oh, why would we pay our tax anyway? I wonder. Okay, another word, another sentence, for example. Okay, our education teach us to see things and world logically. Yet, often the societies disappoint us. Isn't that true? Next word is exhibit. It means to display or to show. For example, let's say, okay, a good friend of mine, Chuck, who was a teacher, but also has been a pretty good artist, especially paintings and stuff. And one day he exhibited his artwork in Ginza, Tokyo, at his exhibition for 3 days. And boy, I was proud of him, and he was happy as well. So exhibition means the show, and exhibit means to show them. Another example, for example, let's say the climate changes exhibit signs of decline of species in all over the world. Isn't that true? When Shohei Ohtani's English speech was exhibited on TV, many Japanese people praised him for his English. But then I thought that was strange because he's been there for over 5 years in the United States. And unless he's stupid or uneducated, he should be able to speak English naturally like that, of course. You know, people who move to one country from another and adapt to a new language, of course, naturally, they would study the new language. And then within a few years, of course, you live upon the condition of the lifestyle, which uses the local language, of course. So I didn't think it was anything special. I think it was rather natural. If he didn't speak English then, I would think he's a stupid fool. So what he did was quite natural and nothing surprised about it. And nothing to really praise about it either, I didn't think. Well, that's all about it for today. Take care of yourself and happy March to all of you. Ciao.